GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Montreal. I'm CJ Waterhouse. We're looking at Quebec's sudden shutdown of 4 private colleges and the legal fight brewing at Collège Supérieur de Montréal, plus a quick traffic update with lane closures across the city. And later, SMOSH will read Reddit Stories Live. Over to you, Jeff.
Tonight, Estrella presents Wednesday Night Laughs, a comedy festival featuring 3 local acts starting at 7 p.m., with tickets priced at $15 and family-friendly atmosphere.
Doors open at 6:30, audience seating is reserved, complimentary coffee will be served, and the venue is located on St. Catherine Street near the Metro.
The festival runs through next Saturday, each night highlighting a different comedy style, and proceeds benefit the local arts charity supporting emerging performers across Montreal.
Lots to get to, let's begin, and we'll dive straight into today's stories, keeping you informed and entertained throughout the hour. Good morning, Montreal.
Quebec's Education Ministry announced Friday that 4 privately run government-funded colleges will be shut down. The closures will affect hundreds of international students currently enrolled at the institutions, leaving them with few remaining options for study in the province. In response, Collège Supérieur de Montréal said it will file an appeal before the province's administrative tribunal, arguing that the decision undermines the educational pathways for overseas learners. Officials cited financial irregularities as the rationale for the shutdown, though they did not provide detailed figures. The affected schools are slated to cease operations by the end of the current academic term. Families of the students have been notified and are exploring transfer possibilities at other accredited institutions across the province. The legal challenge is expected to focus on procedural fairness and the impact on the students' ability to complete their programs.
Federal officials said the high-speed rail corridor linking Toronto and Quebec City is expected to include a stop in Kingston. The chief executive of the Crown Corporation overseeing the project confirmed that planners have opened a public consultation specifically asking for input on a Kingston station. The request follows earlier studies that identified the historic city as a logical midpoint between the 2 metropolises. If approved, the Kingston stop would give residents faster access to both provincial capitals and could spur local economic activity. The corporation has not set a final route or timeline, but officials emphasize that community feedback will shape the design. The consultation period runs over the coming weeks, giving commuters and business owners a chance to weigh in on the proposed service. Stakeholders hope the addition will enhance regional connectivity and attract new investment.
Police announced that a 21-year-old male driver was stopped yesterday after being clocked at an alarming 208 km per hour on a Laval highway north of Montreal. Quebec Provincial Police confirmed the speed exceeded the posted limit by more than double. Officers performed a traffic stop, seized the vehicle, and placed the driver in custody on a charge of reckless driving. No injuries were reported, and the automobile was impounded pending further investigation. The stop occurred during daylight hours, allowing officers to conduct the operation safely. The driver remains detained while the case proceeds through the provincial court system. Police emphasized that speed limits are rigorously enforced on major commuter routes that link the island to surrounding suburbs, and that violations of this magnitude trigger immediate enforcement action. Police noted that extreme speeding endangers other motorists on busy highways.
Earlier this month, Quebec Provincial Police dismantled a clandestine laboratory operating in the city that produced counterfeit passports and birth certificates. The operation, conducted by the Provincial Police's Organized Crime Unit, resulted in the seizure of printing equipment, computer servers, and forged documents. Investigators say the lab had been supplying illegal identification to individuals seeking to evade immigration rules and other legal requirements. Authorities arrested 3 suspects and are holding them pending charges of document fraud and organized crime. Police indicated the bust was the culmination of months of surveillance and cooperation with federal agencies. The seized materials will be examined for links to other illegal networks, and the investigation remains ongoing as officials work to prevent further distribution of fraudulent identity papers. The closure is expected to disrupt a lucrative underground market that had generated considerable profit for criminal networks.
Fans are thronging the Scotiabank Theatre as its dormant 17 IMAX projector roars back to life for a Christopher Nolan feature. The machine, silent since 2014, now powers one of only 41 venues worldwide that can display the legendary large-format film stock. The theater, Quebec's sole 70 IMAX house, has become a magnet for cinephiles eager to experience Nolan's vision the way it was intended. Lines stretch along St. Catherine, and ticket windows report rapid sales as word spreads across the province. Operators say the revival was timed for the July release, turning a quiet summer night into a communal celebration of cinema craftsmanship. Film scholars note that the 17 process delivers a depth and clarity unmatched by digital alternatives, making each frame a visual event. The screenings continue nightly, drawing both longtime enthusiasts and newcomers to the rare format.
Later, we'll hear how Quebec and Newfoundland negotiators are moving the new Churchill Falls deal forward. Plus our top headlines. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back. I hope you caught that quick break. Let's dive into today's headlines, and now Jeff Laflamme will take us through the local stories.
Negotiators from the Quebec government and the Newfoundland and Labrador government, led by Minister Christine Fréchette, say they are making headway toward a fresh agreement on the Churchill Falls hydroelectric arrangement. The two provinces have been locked in a decades-long dispute over the terms under which Newfoundland and Labrador sells power generated at the massive Churchill Falls facility to Quebec. Both sides indicated that progress this week brings the parties closer to a settlement that could be signed in the near future. If a deal is reached, it may reshape the flow of electricity across provincial borders and could influence wholesale rates that affect household bills. Officials stress that the talks remain confidential, but the forward momentum marks a shift from years of stalemate toward a possible resolution. Energy-intensive manufacturers in the region will be watching the outcome closely, hoping for more predictable pricing.
Yesterday, Marie-Yasmin Aladou stepped onto the field in her hometown for the first time since joining the Roses. The local star, who had spent years away pursuing her career, finally suited up in front of familiar faces at the stadium. Fans cheered as she took her position, a moment many had anticipated after her recent recruitment. Aladou said the experience felt like coming home, and teammates noted the energy she brought to the squad. The appearance marks the start of her season with the Roses, and it gives supporters a chance to see a hometown talent represent the city on the field. With the season just beginning, her presence adds a personal touch that resonates with anyone who grew up watching local soccer. The buzz around the arena reflected a shared pride, reminding many of the excitement that hometown players bring each game.
Mayor Soria Martinez Ferrada will publicly question ARECOR Energy's proposal to install tidal turbines in the St. Lawrence River near the Old Port. The plan, scheduled for 2027, calls for a series of turbines that would generate renewable power from river currents. At a forthcoming council meeting, the mayor is expected to voice serious doubts about whether the project aligns with the city's energy strategy and environmental priorities. ARECOR representatives have highlighted the potential for clean electricity and local job creation, but municipal officials have asked for clearer evidence of cost-effectiveness and impact on navigation and waterfront activities. The debate will unfold as the city evaluates the balance between innovative green infrastructure and the practical concerns of residents and businesses that rely on the historic port area.
16 newborn caribou fawns arrived in May, boosting the province's captive herd and giving the conservation program a welcome lift. The Quebec government confirmed the births at its breeding center, raising the total number of animals under careful watch. Officials said the addition strengthens efforts to safeguard endangered caribou species, many of which face habitat loss and declining populations in the wild. The fawns will join a small group of adults that researchers monitor closely, providing valuable data on health, growth, and breeding success. By expanding the captive population, the program hopes to improve the odds of future reintroductions and maintain a genetic reservoir for the province's iconic wildlife. Families visiting the center can now see a larger herd, a tangible sign that the long-term strategy is moving forward. The center plans to track the fawns' progress for the next 12 months, offering researchers a clearer picture of early development.
The province completed an aerial spraying operation this July, treating more than 627,000 hectares with Bacillus thuringiensis kerstaki, a biological insecticide aimed at the spruce budworm. Officials said the application was intended to curb the outbreak that has been gnawing at Quebec's timber stands for several years. Helicopters equipped with precision nozzles flew low over affected woodlands, depositing the microbial spray in a thin layer designed to target larvae while sparing other wildlife. Monitoring reports indicate a drop in budworm activity in the treated zones, though forest managers caution that recovery will take time. The campaign follows a pattern of annual interventions, reflecting the persistent threat the pest poses to commercial logging, recreational hiking trails, and the province's broader ecosystem. Residents living near the spray corridors reported no immediate health concerns, and local authorities affirmed that BTK poses no risk to humans when applied according to guidelines.
Now let's get a quick look at your afternoon forecast with our weather team.
A low-pressure trough and a swift southwest jet are threading the city, setting up lingering drizzle. On this date, Montreal once burned to 32.7 Celsius in 2016, a record set during an unprecedented heat dome that pushed the province into triple-digit Fahrenheit territory. The opposite extreme fell to 11.6 Celsius in 2025, when a sudden Arctic surge slipped through the Great Lakes, blanketing the city in a frosty snap despite midsummer. Normal highs hover around 26 Celsius and lows near 16, so today's 21-degree reading sits comfortably between those historic extremes. The live radar shows a band of rain marching eastward from the Ontario border, its course centered over the South Shore at 11. The system is being steered by the southwest jet, advancing at roughly 20 kilometers per hour. It will brush the island between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., with the heaviest cells fading by afternoon. By 8 p.m., the echoes disappear, leaving a quiet, stable sky as we turn to today's outlook. At noon, Montreal sits under a thick overcast, low pressure rising as a high builds to the east, easing the moisture influx. The southwest jet streak, clocking 95 kilometers per hour aloft, drags the lingering drizzle northward, keeping clouds in place. Temperatures sit at 21 Celsius, feeling mild with a dew point of 18. Winds gust up to 31 kilometers per hour from the southwest, enough to stir the trees but not to force a chill. The ultraviolet index reads 6, indicating moderate solar intensity through the brief breaks. No weather alerts are in force. As the afternoon progresses, clouds will thicken, holding steady until the evening, after which the night will clear as the high pressure finally dominates. Looking ahead, Thursday brings clear skies and a high of 25 Celsius with a low of 11, a dry start after today's clouds. Friday remains mainly clear, matching the same high but lifting the low to 16, allowing a gentle nighttime cooling. Saturday turns overcast, pushing the high to 29 and the low to 18, as moisture returns from the Great Lakes. Sunday clears again, holding the high at 29 and a low of 20, offering a warm, dry day. Monday introduces a partly cloudy pattern, still warm at 29 for the high, but the low stays 20 and a 20% chance of rain appears, hinting at the first spring-type showers of the season. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll check traffic delays, preview SMOSH's live Reddit set and the comedy festival, plus a quick look at the Canadians. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Honoré-Mercier Bridge remains the biggest holdup this morning, with one lane closed and trucks barred from the remaining lane. That bottleneck adds 10 minutes to eastbound travel toward the island. On the south side, the Bonaventure Expressway runs a single eastbound lane near the Victoria Bridge, slowing traffic. Across the river, the Clement Bridge runs a single westbound lane, creating a queue for downtown commuters. The Daiquiri Expressway southbound lane between the interchange and Jean Talon Street is closed, diverting traffic onto local streets. Highway 520's overpass reconstruction narrows the road near the Dorval roundabout, and exit 56 westbound is shut, pushing drivers onto Montreal-Toronto Boulevard. The Louis-Hippolyte-Lafontaine Tunnel runs contraflow southbound only, with the northbound tube closed. Service road between Tellier and Notre Dame Streets is reduced to one lane. No transit delays, metro and buses run on schedule. Expect lingering slowdowns into the afternoon, especially on the bridges and expressways.
The Great Montreal Poutine Fest is rolling through Old Montreal today, with restaurants and food trucks serving creative twists on the classic comfort dish, perfect for a lunchtime bite that's both familiar and surprising. It's a chance to sample daring toppings like truffle gravy or pulled pork, turning a simple plate into a culinary adventure. At Sal Wilfrid Pelletier Place des Arts, SMOSH takes the stage live, reading the internet's funniest Reddit stories. It's a chance to hear your favorite memes performed by the YouTube duo in real time. Looking ahead, Festival Haiti on Fire kicks off tomorrow in Parc La Fontaine, offering live music, an arts fair, and authentic Haitian cuisine, a vibrant celebration you won't want to miss. The lineup blends reggae rhythms with traditional drums, creating a soundtrack for summer evenings. And for the weekend, keep an eye on Ashiga at Parc Jean Drapeau, where international headliners will turn the summer night into a massive music party. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's hockey moves and contract talk. The Canadians have inked forward Kirby Dach to a new deal, but analysts say the contract offers little reassurance about his long-term role. Management still faces 5 key questions before the 2026-27 season kicks off, according to Habs' Eyes on the Prize. On Tuesday, the Canadiens announced the addition of Derek Lalonde as associate coach, bolstering the staff ahead of training camp. The club also secured AHL forwards Jard Davidson and Hunter McCown on new contracts, reinforcing depth for the upcoming season. Montreal confirmed Friday that forwards Jard Davidson and Hunter McCown have each signed 1-year, 2-way deals covering the 2026-27 campaign. The short-term agreements keep the prospects within the organization as the Habs shape their roster for next year.
Steve's Music Store on Ste. Catherine Street East in downtown Montreal has been a cornerstone of the city's music scene for 61 years. Founded by a passionate guitarist, the shop has stocked everything from vintage amps to first-edition sheet music, becoming a gathering place for budding artists and seasoned performers alike. This week, the family announced the closure of its final storefront, citing rising rent and the shift to online shopping. Over the next 2 days, they'll host a virtual auction of the remaining inventory, giving fans a chance to own a piece of the store's history. Steve's meant more than a retailer. It was a rehearsal room for the city's soul, and its loss is felt in every alley of downtown. And later, we'll celebrate the crowds filling Montreal's only IMAX 70mm theater for the Nolan blockbuster, a feel-good moment you won't miss.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local Sunset Montreal's evening newscast.
The Just for Laughs Festival is lighting up downtown Montreal tonight as SMOSH takes the stage at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier to perform live readings of Reddit's most hilarious stories, drawing crowds to the heart of the Cartier des Spectacles. Fans are lining up early. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. I'm standing in the dim glow of Salle Wilfrid Pelletier, the historic theater tucked behind the neon pulse of Place des Arts. The seats are a sea of black, the audience buzzing as the lights snap up and the giant screen behind the stage flickers to life. 2 brothers, Ian and Anthony of SMOSH, stride onto the stage, microphones in hand, grins wide enough to fill the hall. They launch into the first Reddit tale, a misadventure about a cat that thinks it's a delivery driver, while the crowd erupts in laughter that rolls like a subway train through the Cartier des Spectacles. Between stories, they riff on the absurdity of internet culture, pulling in reactions from fans in the front rows, and even a few surprise video calls projected onto the backdrop. The energy feels like a communal joke, a reminder that humor can stitch strangers together in a single shared moment. This performance turns a digital scroll into a live, collective heartbeat. Carl Dumont virtually at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier.
On the bustling streets of the Mile End, a sudden rumble rolled in from the east, and within minutes the sky opened with a fierce but brief summer downpour. Neighborhood cafes pulled their awnings tighter and the scent of fresh espresso mingled with the clean, rain-kissed air. As the wind gusted through the narrow lanes, a group of schoolchildren from the nearby elementary school burst out of the doorway, laughing and splashing in puddles that reflected the neon signs above. What could have been a chaotic afternoon turned into an impromptu community celebration. A local bakery owner, seeing the wet shoes, handed out warm, buttery croissants wrapped in paper, while a street violinist raised his bow and let the music rise above the storm. Strangers shared umbrellas, strangers shared smiles, and a spontaneous rain dance erupted on the cobblestones, drawing cheers from passers-by who stopped to watch. In those few minutes, the neighborhood reminded us all that even the wildest weather can bring people together, turning a storm into a moment of unexpected kindness. The rain has gone, but the feeling of togetherness lingers on.
In the Plateau Mont-Royal on a Saturday morning, volunteers at the community center on Rue Saint-Denis gathered around a row of bicycles and a whiteboard that read Fuel-Free Friday. Outside, the hum of traffic on St. Laurent reminded everyone that gasoline prices have crept toward $2 per liter, a level not seen since the early 21st century. Since February 2026, tensions in the Middle East and elsewhere have nudged world markets higher, and Montreal drivers have felt each extra cent in their wallets. Instead of stewing over the numbers, a group of neighbors, led by 23-year-old engineering student Maya Delorier, set up a car share hub beside the center. She posted a simple spreadsheet on the community bulletin, matching drivers with passengers heading to the same downtown corridor. On the first day, retired teacher Jacques offered his compact sedan to 3 commuters, saving them a combined $30 in fuel costs. The payoff arrived when a young mother handed Maya a handwritten note that read, "Because of you, we arrived on time and with smiles." It showed that even as prices climb, solidarity can keep city moving forward. We travel farther when we travel together.
Thanks, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. It was great seeing the city come together at the IMAX 70mm theater for the Nolan film, a true showcase of local enthusiasm. Stay tuned tomorrow for more headlines and insights. We'll be back at noon, same time.